Hi, this is Christy from Empower Fit Personal Training, and today I want to have a look at a common logical fallacy that I experience personally, but I also see often towards pre and postnatal female athletes. And so let's just get right into it because I have a lot to say. So, the fallacy begins with the comments that if you're strong now, you're going to have a strong pregnancy. And this is whether this is a fallacy or a bias, depending on who it's coming from. But I think it's kind of one of those generic things that you hear all the time. It's one of those fake truths that you hear from, whether you're in moms groups or you're at a gym and you're speaking to a group of people, you'll hear a lot of people say the same thing. Oh, if you're strong now, you're going to have a strong pregnancy. And this was definitely something that I heard a lot when I got pregnant with my first and with my second. And I even heard it from my doctor, and the problem that I have the most with this is that not only does it set us up as female athletes for potential physical injuries and issues down the road, but a female athlete has a very specific mindset and way of thinking, and to set us up with an expectation that something is going to go a certain way because we're already this way can really set us up meant for a real hard mental recovery when it doesn't quite go our way. And I think we can say as a whole that most pregnancies don't go as we expect them to because there are no absolutes when it comes to pregnancy. We don't know how easy it's going to be, how hard it's going to be, how much weight we'll gain, how our bodies are going to change, how our hormones are going to affect us, how our sleep is going to be affected. There's so many variables and factors that go into each personal pregnancy journey that to say if you're strong now, you'll have a strong pregnancy is really detrimental to any mom, but especially a female athlete because they are in that frame of mind setting themselves up to expect a specific journey ahead of them. Another part to this puzzle is to just keep doing what you're doing during pregnancy. And this again is really, I think, in my experience, poor advice because our bodies change from the moment we get pregnant. And if you're an athlete, you already know that our training ebbs and flows based on our goals and our desires to reach specific achievements. And when we're pregnant, we have to understand that our training must also adjust and be modified to suit where our body is at that stage of the game. From the day we get pregnant to the day we deliver, our body goes through an immense amount of change in 10 months, and we have to make sure that what we were doing when we were not pregnant changes because we are pregnant now. So the advice to keep doing what you're doing is really a fallacy that I think it's just kind of the proof is in the pudding. You can't just keep doing what you're doing necessarily because your body is not the same. So your goals change, your outlook will change, your training should change. Does it have to change drastically or a lot? No, but we do have to make adjustments in pregnancy training to accommodate the changes that are happening in our bodies during pregnancy and then, of course, after delivery. The last part of this puzzle is that you'll bounce back if you train and if you're strong and if you've done all of this during your pregnancy. And again, this is just a myth that's out there that needs to be reevaluated. Will you, have a better chance of a successful recovery if you train and are strong? Maybe. But again, pregnancy and delivery have so many unknowns that to tell a female athlete that you'll bounce back is again setting them up with this expectation of what postnatal will look like. And very rarely does postnatal anything look like what we actually thought it would. So, again, this really goes back to more of a mental mental support for female athletes, less than the physical, because the mental expectations are there. And when we don't have an outcome that matches the expectation that we had, it can really, really set us up for some mental anguish, fears of failure. And I see this all the time with female athletes, like, beating themselves up because their body doesn't look the way they thought it would, or they can't squat, run, deadlift, pull up, whatever it might be, the way they used to, because it doesn't feel the same. Our bodies aren't the same. And when we tell them that they will bounce back faster or better or easier, then, we are just really setting them up to feel these emotions that they don't need. Moms have enough stress on their plates to set them up for this additional mental stress by giving them these fallacies during pregnancy is just not fair. So my aim when dealing with female athletes is to teach them to respect the process and their individual journey. No mom is the same. We might have a lot of similarities, but no mom is the same whether it comes to the physical or mental aspect of your pre and postnatal journey. Your pregnancy is going to look a little bit different than everybody else because you are a different person, and it's really up to me, or I've taken on the role of trying to teach my clients and other athletes, spread the word that we have to understand that we need to respect the process during pregnancy and postpartum training. We need to let go of these myths and these fallacies and understand that training as an athlete when you're pre and postnatal takes an acquired and additional type of strength that we didn't know that we had. It does not make us weaker. It does not make us less of an athlete. It makes us actually stronger in the end, because we are really able to take a step back, reassess, reevaluate, and respect our bodies with the recovery and the training that they deserve. Pregnancy is temporary, but postpartum is forever. So even if you are training during pregnancy, it is temporary, but you are going to be a postpartum body for the rest of your life after you have a child. And your training should reflect that forever. You cannot out train postpartum. You need to, as an athlete, we need to have a strong sense of what changes our body is experiencing, and do our best towards understanding that, again, we are individuals. We require a certain amount of respect and planning, and just like we would with any other coaching program, there's always a plan to our strategy and our training. And when you're pregnant and postpartum, that really should apply, and the respect should be there for every mom as they deserve it.